remained on the girl's body forever. All the more reason to hurry. My father might be back any minute.
Yo,
so
don't hurry. Don't hurry. I want the highest dad. Oh, girl. Was als aangebracht vanuit channel. Action. Anyway, so it's going to us. Long as a tattoo so there's a lot of tattoos. Okay. Anyway, story about tattoos. Okay. Ngayon dat Google alleen aan de title. Like, ngayon is het tattoo aan source mee te gaan tattoos ngayon. But yeah. I don't know the title, but yeah. The title Google alleen ngayon. But yeah. I'm not going to search the title. We are going to search the video. Because it's kind of unusual that you're not grace as like, yeah, go get a tattoo. Yes. When I got my tattoos, I have a few tattoos on my arm. I got my tattoos. They serve like, no, don't do this. And I like, go ahead, so that guy, do it. But yeah, I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. If I'm going to enjoy this, leave a like, and let's get right into this.
My mother, a tattoo artist, covered me with tattoos. Hello everyone, my name is Kaylee. Do any of you have a tattoo artist as a mom?
Nope.
I agree, this is generally rare, but I have one. And yes, she covered me with tattoos herself. How did this happen? Now I will tell you. All you have to do is like the video
That's this side. What is this side?
my story. Do not forget to share it with your friends, write comments under the video, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. So initially, my mother is an artist. She has always drawn beautifully, and she has a great talent that can be envied.
Yeah, sure, I'm not sure. Not gonna judge.
She didn't really like studying at school, but she excelled at drawing lessons. She was even better than the teacher.
Damn.
She always drew wall newspapers, posters, in general, actively participated in the creative life of the school, for which she was given good grades. She then went to an art institute or something. My mom was the best there, and 2 years later, she met a guy named Chris. She fell in love with him at first sight, but her parents were against it. My mother trusted her heart, so despite the prohibitions and reproaches, they got married. And then I was born. Yes, these are my parents. My father was from a poor family, which is why my grandparents still do not accept him, although it has been a very
What? Why does the guys not like him? Because he is poor. What? I'm sorry. What? I don't really like to hang around with him because he is poor. Nothing.
long time. It was really hard for them.
That's
They didn't earn
that's
much, and they still
sad.
had to study.
kind
Anyway,
of
my
sad.
dad dropped out of school and went looking for a job. He drew portraits to order, but this money was still not enough, so he decided to try doing tattoos. At first, this idea seemed dubious to my mother. Plus, you also had to pay to be trained.
Oh my.
But they took a chance and Dad learned, and then gradually began to take orders. And things went well. After a few years, he worked in the best salon in the city, on
Damn.
a level with other professionals. And a few years later, he had his own tattoo studio. By this
Damn.
time, we were well on our feet. I grew up, went to school, and my mother, so as not to sit idle,
That's a rare looking car.
also decided to go to work. She was looking for a job by her profession, as she had a diploma, but nothing good was found. And when she came out of the 30th unsuccessful interview, she came up with an interesting idea. Mom went to Dad's work, brought him lunch, and watched as he finished giving a tattoo to one of his clients. When Dad finished, he asked how her work was going. My mom sadly replied that she wasn't working, and then she was like, "Teach me how to do a tattoo." Dad almost choked on his food. This statement was very unexpected.
Yes. What did I say?
He asked if she was sure that she wanted this, and my mother said a firm yes. From that moment on, they worked together. My father taught my mother. She practiced first on artificial leather, then began to gain a client base. Since my mother had talent, she also learned quickly. I was proud of them.
I'm really great at drawing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really good at drawing. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to learn how to do tattoos because I'm not on learning, but that was really interesting. I would want to learn that.
They were able to stand on their own 2 feet and provide food for our family.
Nice.
When the school found out how my parents worked, the teachers were outraged, made unhappy faces, and the guys threw questions about whether she could get them tattoos and
What is a man what is a guy that can tattoo artist for a living? What is a guy? It's the same thing as 2 liters has a kid and the school is like, you guys liters? What the hell? How can you do that? Why is this good at you? It's not your life.
why I don't have any. I never thought about that before. I thought it was optional, even though my parents have tattoos. A few of them. I came home and immediately said that I wanted a tattoo. My mom and dad lost their minds. At first, they were indignant for a long time, but then they realized that they could not say no.
Yeah, that's weird. And I have a kid later, and he says, "Oh, you have tattoos? I want a tattoo also." I can't say no because I have a few tattoos. I can't say no.
You can understand why.
Yeah.
Then my father said that he would allow me to get a tattoo with one condition, that it would be done either by him or by my mother.
Okay.
And I agreed. I was given until the weekend to choose a drawing and think about it properly.
Well, until the weekend, you need a little bit more time to decide if you want a tattoo for the rest of your life or not.
As well as to consult with my parents. All week I was racking my brain, choosing a large,
A week is not enough. A week is
then
not
a small
enough.
drawing. I could not decide. Then my mother came up to me. She advised me to make a small one, try to get used to it,
True.
to the sensations.
I just one last. I can't sell it. Who cares?
To be honest, I was scared. Although my parents told me in detail how the
Yeah, it's not that.
process
It's not that at all. I have a really high pain tolerance, so it doesn't really hurt for me.
I was still worried, but it was normal. Then came Saturday. I went to the salon with my parents and asked my mother to make my first tattoo, and she agreed. They asked me again if I was ready and if I had made a conscious decision. And when they said yes, my mother invited me to sit down. In fact, I was more worried, and after 30 minutes, I had a tattoo of a small flower on my arm. It looked neat, unassuming, and I was pleased. It took about a
On your hand. Oh. Oh. I don't know if it's a great place to start. I wouldn't do that right now. I will not get a hand tattoo. If I got successful with YouTube, maybe I will get a hand tattoo, but not right now.
week for the tattoo to heal. It itched, but I took good care of it. At first, I couldn't
Good.
get enough
I got a good side tattoo right here, and it was so itchy.
of it. It's like when you buy yourself a cool new thing, only this is always with you.
That's a hand
I
tattoo.
often got questions from my friends. What if the tattoo gets boring? What to do then? In general, they can be taken off. But why?
Yeah, why?
That is why my parents asked me if I was sure about the choice of the tattoo and if my decision was really consciously made.
A hand
If everything was
tattoo.
completely healed, The thought crept into my mind. What if I had more? My father and mother asked the same questions and invited me to the salon. This time I made a bigger drawing on my leg. I had a wolf mouth all over my thigh. This drawing was in color, so I worked on for several hours in a row, and not at once. My mother did a great job. She clearly displayed all the details, like she did with all her clients. In some places I was a little sore, but in general, the sensations were tolerable. Finally, when the work was completely finished, there was another drawing on my leg, and it looked just bomb. And the funny thing is that...
Wat is een stunning about animation? Lang, serious not talking about still moves.
6 months later, I thought about another tattoo. It became like an addiction. My father told me about it. Lots of his clients often come for him for new tattoos.
That's amazing. My first one was this girl, and 2 months later I got a work on me, and then I got I forgot what the name was called, and I got a website after that. So in 1 year, around 1.5 years, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tattoos in 1.5 years.
So, in a total of 2 years, my mother gave me about 20 tattoos. My arms, legs, stomach, neck, and lower back were all...
And your hand!
At school, my teachers told me off, but my parents stood up for me, and that was what I liked the most.
Yeah, alright, it's your body.
Do I consider my body beautiful? Yes. But it also warms me to think that my mother did all this work for me.
Okay, yeah,
Isn't
sure.
it wonderful?
Sure, alright.
Now her work will always remain with me.
Okay.
Would you take a chance like this? What would you
Wait.
tattoo yourself with?
Wait, what?
Howdy, my name is Homer. Tell me, guys, do you have a favorite drink? How is it, and why do you like it? It can be anything.
What's
For
this?
example, water, apple
What
cider,
am I watching?
wine.
I'm not going to watch that. I don't care about what you drink. I don't even care. I don't really care about you. But yeah, that was only 7 minutes. And that's what's the other one. Yeah, that's that.
I'm Henry, and I'm 13. This will be my tattoo story.
Hi guys.
Of course, it's illegal to do them before the age of 18,
What's
but
that?
look what I have. And I got
Is
it
it?
tattooed by the
Is it illegal? Okay, I didn't know that.
coolest artist in our city. Do you want to know who it
No.
is? Then subscribe to the channel and watch
Don't
my
know.
story. I've always loved drawing, and I was really good at it, even though I never learned it. Beautiful, isn't
Me
it?
too. I have not to learn how to draw, but I just can draw.
This talent was passed down to me from my father,
That's
who
good
was a
to
painter
drawing.
and worked as a tattoo artist. He created dragons and
Yeah.
all sorts of ornaments
Nice.
and motorcycles for the customers, but I never liked his drawings. They were hackneyed old hats. I used to spend a lot of time in my father's parlor and also wanted to become a tattoo artist.
Okay.
My dad liked my wish, so he gave me a piece of paper of an artificial leather and an old machine to practice with.
Okay.
I put hours in doing this, and very soon I started to know the other.
That's a nice. So
I knew which ink was the best, how to fix a tattoo machine, how to treat a tattoo so it would heal faster. I felt I was ready to work with real clients, and
No, okay, that's 13. I wouldn't trust you. I would not trust a 13-year-old kid with my
I
body.
told my father about it, but he said that it was not enough.
Yeah.
I had only gained technical knowledge,
Yeah.
but I still needed creative skills. I must have learned to draw beautifully and correctly, but I could already do it, and I
Yeah, no.
showed my
No.
dad the tattoo sketch that I'd been drawing all night, but he laughed. No, Henry, it
Oh, okay. Oh my god. Oh my, you did that? Sure.
It's just a scribble.
Yeah.
Go to the School of Art. They will teach you everything there. Why did I need art school? I could do everything. My father just didn't see that I had my own cool style. That's what my friend Benji used to say when I showed him my sketches. Adults don't
He's just trying to be nice.
always want to acknowledge what their children are doing because they're just jealous of them. So my dad couldn't accept that his son was more creative than he was.
No. No, I don't want to answer that.
But one day, fate gave me a chance to come up with the goods. One day, I was sitting in my father's studio, waiting for him. He called and said he was stuck in traffic, so he would be late. But the client should be there soon. Dad asked me to tell her that the session was canceled for that day.
No. No. Don't do this, Ken.
A few minutes later, a pretty girl came into the parlor. We fell into conversation. She said that her name was Nora, and it was her birthday the day before. She always wanted a tattoo, and as soon as she turned 18, she immediately decided
Aga
to do it.
awesome I just had to learn this 18.
I asked the girl what kind of tattoo she wanted. I'm easy, something fashionable and beautiful, she replied cheerfully. I said that I could make one for her. I just had a trendy sketch, and I showed her my drawing. Aren't you too young to make a tattoo?
Yeah.
She asked uncertainly.
Yeah.
I confidently pulled on my gloves and turned up
Oh, Ken. No. No.
on the tattoo machine. Don't sweat it. You're with the best tattoo
But I'm sweating already.
artist in town.
Click. Oh, yeah. As long as I will tell you.
Nora smiled and laid down on the couch. I was a little worried because I was making my first real tattoo, and if I had made a mistake, it would have
I'm sweating bullets. I'm sweating bullets for him.
remained on the girl's body forever. All the more reason to hurry. My father might be back any minute.
Yo,
So
don't hurry. Don't hurry. I want the highest dad. Oh, go girl. Go girl.
I was extremely focused. For the first time, I decided to limit myself to a small drawing, and after a while, it was ready. I was tickled pink with my work. The girl also liked my tattoo. Cool, and edgy. She said.
Yeah.
Treated her with ointment and put a bandage on it. Nora said she liked me very much. I was serious and confident, not like other guys. We said goodbye and she ran away. How glad I was. This was my first experience and it came out more than successful. In the evening, when my father returned home, I could not hide my delight and told him what happened that day. But instead of praising me, he started swearing.
Yeah, no shit. Look, ugly cat.
What have you done? You can't doodle people. I forbid you, he shouted. But the girl liked my drawing. I began to defend myself. My dad said people would laugh at my tattoo and the girl would come to her senses. She would come to the parlor and make a scene. Tattoo artists should be responsible for what they do. I said that my father didn't know anything about modern styles and I knew what I was doing. Anyway, we had a big fight that
Shut the fuck up. Cat, just shut the fuck up. Please. You don't know what you're doing.
night. And you know what? My father was dead on, but not about everything. Nora did return to the parlor a week later, not with acclaim, but with gratitude. She said that all her friends liked my drawing so much
Yes, all the songs like that has kitty tattoo.
that she decided to get another one of these tattoos. The surprised father asked the girl to think carefully. After all, with age, her taste might change. Nora harumphed and left. I couldn't miss another chance and rushed to catch up with the girl. I said I would do what she wanted. We exchanged phone numbers and agreed to get in touch. I spent the whole night drawing a tattoo sketch for Nora. I really liked what I had in the end. I was the creator of a new tattooing style. The next day, I waited for my father to leave again on business and called the
Your dad is going to kill you. Your dad is gonna kill you.
girl. Half an hour later, she was back on the couch, and I was working on her tattoo. During the session, we chatted with her to avoid being bored. Nora told me about herself, and I shared with her my life plans. Despite the age difference, we were interested in each other. Soon,
This is kind of
the tattoo was ready. The girl looked at it and said that I had a great talent.
Aw.
It turned out to be very
Aw.
cool. I was very pleased that she praised me. I asked her whether she would mind if I called her sometime. Nora kissed me on the cheek and said that she'd be happy too. We started to call up and communicate frequently.
she does tattoos.
One day, she told me that the tattoo I made wowed her friends, and some of them even wanted to get the same ones. I was thrilled. I had my own fans from now on.
Something is going to happen. Something bad is going to happen.
So I decided to act. I had a good amount of cash in my piggy
Damn.
bank. I made a list of everything I needed and asked Nora to buy me tattoo equipment. I couldn't have bought it all myself, but the girl went to the store for me and brought a big box. Now I was a real tattoo artist with my own accoutrements. Well, then
Accoutrements?
my work began. I drew sketches at night, and during the day, after school, I
How does she done not know about this?
tattooed clients at their homes. First, it was Nora's friends. Then they told their friends about me, and the information started to
Is
spread
that a
around the
nut? Is that a nut?
Fine. Everyone liked what I was doing, and new orders came in one after another. I had even more clients than my father. My drawing style was now a fashion trend. Yes, I started dating Nora. She was comfortable with the age difference. She liked that I was so talented and made my own
Wait,
mark.
how old is she? Oh yes, she's 18. I don't know, 13 years.
I started buying all sorts of cool things and was immediately noticed at school. When everyone found out that I was a real tattoo artist and my girlfriend was 18, I immediately turned into the most popular guy. My friend Benji used
I am ready to guy.
to say that I was not just talented, but brilliant, like Andy Warhol or Jackson Pollock. Oh, yes, it was true. One night, I drew a sketch so cool that I decided to not give it to anyone, but keep it for myself, I thought. All real tattoo artists have drawings all over their bodies, and I don't have any tattoos yet. So I asked my father to let me turn my sketch into a real tattoo. Dad flatly refused to do it. Not only is this not a drawing, but a daub, so you are also a minor. I don't allow you to get a tattoo, he said. I was offended. He didn't understand
No, he's going to do it by himself.
how cool my drawings were and how much people liked them. By the end of the month, almost 50 people got my tattoos.
Hey.
Rumors about
I don't like his style. Apparently he is doing something right.
a young and fashionable master were flying around our town. Other tattoo artists even started repeating after me. I became a style icon. But
I don't
one
know
night-
about that though. I don't know about that though.
My secret was revealed. My father showed me a photo of one of my tattoos and said angrily, "Henry, what is this? A guy
That's a tattoo.
with this tattoo came to me today. Where did he get it?" I had to own up everything. My dad started yelling that I was making a big mistake. Not only did I doodle people, but also didn't observe sanitation.
Hey. Het schijnlijk tikjes onzo is zijn ze not hackelen because he is the and he literally showed you that it wasn't a great drawing. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't great.
I was offended by his words and replied that I was doing everything right and he just didn't understand modern artists. I was so angry with my father that I got a tattoo that night by myself. But when it healed, I started showing my drawing off at school. Benji was surprised. "But you're not 18 yet. You can't get into a jam." "No big deal. I am a true artist, and this is my style," I replied. But my self-confidence...
Two artists. Certainly.
But when it healed, I started showing my drawing off at school. Benji was surprised. "But you're not 18 yet. You can't get into a jam."
Jongen, 18 jaar, je kan alles tattoo.
Deal. I am a true artist, and this is my style, I replied. But my self-confidence quickly faded when people from the guardianship department arrived at school after lunch and took me to the station. It turned out that one of the teachers saw my tattoo and called them. My father was waiting for me at the station. He was charged with improper childcare. I replied that I was an adult and had done the tattoo myself. My father didn't know anything. Somehow this case was hushed up. At home, I had a serious conversation with my father, which ended in a quarrel. But wait, there was more. Just a few days later, I got a call from a local TV channel. They said they heard a story about the youngest tattoo artist in town and decided to make a report about me. Oh, that was very nice. Of course, I agreed. I also called Nora to share my success. The camera crew with the reporter arrived quite quickly. They filmed Nora and me and our tattoos. Then I talked for a long time about how I invented my own cool style and how I became popular. At that moment, I was basking in the glory. I was famous. The TV crew shot everything and left. Nora and I went to a cafe to celebrate the event. In the evening, this report was broadcast, and the next day, it was already on the internet. I was happy. The whole world would know about me. But then something happened that I could not have expected. Instead of admiring my work, users started ribbing on it. Look at this squalor. Can this boy draw at all? Who gave him a tattoo machine? These were the most innocuous comments. I was surprised and upset. What's happening? Even
that's the internet. That's oh God. Listen, that's just the internet. People calling me all kind of stuff. I don't care about it.
the most famous tattoo artists began to post my drawings on their channels with captions, "Don't do this," "The ugliest tattoo in the world," and "Children's creativity." I was depressed. I didn't expect this. This wasn't the kind of fame I needed. After that, my father took all my tattoo equipment away from me and said that I was a disgrace to him. Was he right?
Damn.
The school started laughing at me. From the most popular guys, I immediately slipped into losers. Even my friend Benji suddenly said that my drawings were not very good and I needed to work on the style. My girlfriend Nora stopped answering my calls.
I don't mean to laugh at this. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly.
But the worst thing was that a few days later, my father's parlor began to receive clients.
You started drawing. You knew that it wasn't great. You knew that it wasn't great. Why did it start to tattoo then?
Whom I tattooed. They swore and demanded to fix what I had done. My dad was forced to cover my drawings with new tattoos for free. I thought for a long time, and you know what I came to? I'm really talented. People just aren't ready for my work.
Tú I'm just too talented. People just don't understand it.
Work yet. No one understands that I am a true master. But one day, my tattoos will become immortal masterpieces. Write in the comments, what do you think about that?
Absolutely not. What the fuck was that? What was that? What the ISIS was? What on earth the ISIS was? This was way better than the share story. Way better. Oh yeah, I'm 13. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, the tattoo, yes, Rocky and rare tattoos, sure. You don't want a professional tattoo? As long as professional tattoo, something like that, yeah. He likes professional golden tattoos, yeah. But as long ugly, fancy tattoos come to yeah. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what he was thinking. Let him know in the comments down below if you got a tattoo from a 30-year-old kid. No thank you. If he was indeed really professional and he was great at drawing and he really was talented, maybe. Those drawings, no thank you. Absolutely not. No way on earth I would let a 13-year-old got me a tattoo. No way. No way. But yeah, I hope you guys see the if you like to see the don't forget to like and subscribe at the end. I'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Yeah.